Dan here, Dave's Speed Shop.
Hey, did you tell everybody where your bolts were?
What bolts?
The ones that you lost in the last video?
Oh, they're in the truck. These things happen. I knew I was in a truck when I got them. I just forgot which truck I was in. And these things happen, Danielle. You know what the problem was? You were driving the truck all the time.
No, you drove it last.
I drove it last? I did do a little driving on it. Okay, so in the last video, we had... Okay, not really that funny there. We got the whole front suspension dialed on and off and on. And we got these fancy spindles. And now we're gonna go ahead and put the brakes on. I guess I could have done 3 more seconds of preparation. But yeah. There's 2 options. I went with the non-slotted ones. You know, I'm just gonna throw this out there, but you asked if you wanted to come out and help. And that was you setting the camera up and then walking away.
Right here, I'm right here.
Okay, so.
I get this angle and then I move the camera to get the next angle.
Anywho, this kit is relatively simple. I jumped ahead a little bit. I have pre-packed the bearings. We have our...
There's bearings in there?
Those are bearings right there, yeah.
The joke was there's just a lot of grease.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Actually, I got this, is that right? Yeah, so it's our seal. So that's cool. I downloaded the instructions on the internet. So now this is, I guess you gotta decide which way you wanna, which side that is. But, I don't know if these are the same. They're not. So I'm thinking what's gonna happen here is we're gonna take this out. Take your time, take your time. Okay. Actually, this might have to be shortened. I think that might have been in the instructions, which I didn't read yet. But basically, this is gonna go like that, which is actually kind of strange because that seems like that's a drum brake spindle, but whatever. I took off the steering arms from the other junk and just painted them real quick. So these are gonna go on the back side, like that. Now I'm thinking though, again, read the instructions first, but this bracket probably has to go on as well. I'm thinking it's this one. Now I don't know. Oh, actually, you know what? I bet this is the wrong side. Covers might go forwards.
There's some kind of instructions.
Yeah, I downloaded them, but then you're like, let's film. I have things to do.
None of that is true.
Yeah, this probably fits better now too. Okay, so we got that on there, and I'm thinking this also probably goes in there. I don't know if it goes on the top or on the bottom. Does it say in there?
I don't know. It's very tiny.
Yeah. Oh, it must go on the back. This can't be right. I've done something crucially wrong, Danielle. Because that fits like that.
That one has an L for left.
Does it? Oh, son of a gun. Okay, so that's... How about that? An L for left. Why can I not get this thread in? Does this have an L or an R? No. We'll be right back. We need, there's a gap there. Some don't make sense to me. I have still not read the instructions, so I'm gonna do that. I don't know why you have the camera on. We were not ready for this filming. Okay, so I took 8 seconds to read the instructions and it all made a bunch more sense. Who would have thought?
What was wrong?
Just didn't have it lined up. It was a DD speed shop ism. I still gotta get those end links. Okay, so basically, that's gonna go through. We got to trim these bolts after, but okay. Get that on there.
Is trimming bolts like a normal thing to do? Like that's a safe thing to do?
What are you, the law?
I'm just genuinely curious.
I think it's one of those kind of it is what it is situations. They just kind of have a universal kit, and then you kind of trim bolts to make it happen.
Because I can't imagine trimming it like damages the integrity of the bolt.
So what I've always heard is, as long as the amount, how can I explain this? So this is I think it's a 1/2 inch bolt. So it's 1/2 inch wide. So as long as you have a 1/2 inch of engagement, then you're good. Now in this situation, we're gonna have more because we want the lock nut. But at the end of the day, that is the maximum whatever force or something like that. So lug nuts, people are actually pointing at the lug nuts we had on the that 55 Chevrolet. So I had different lug nuts on the thing. If I have an example to show, I have this. I don't have any cheap junk ones. But so what happened is I had, this is like a standard lug nut. Now this is a big one, this is a 1/2 inch. But 7/16 would be quite a bit, less to it. And I ended up putting these acorn ones on there, and as you can see how much more, even on that, you can see how much more engagement there are. So even if, which it's not on this, because these are lug nuts are on there. Oh no, these are 1/2 inch. But if the stud's not coming all the way through, people are like, oh, your lug nuts aren't on all the way. Well, okay, but let's be honest.
The amount of engagement is
well, but if you look at this, so if this one had 2 threads sticking out, it would be the same as this one not all the way in. You know what I mean? So it's the same, but people have in their mind it should be perfect. So basically what I'm saying is, I don't know. Okay. It's probably got to have some sort of a torque to it. And then this here, we'll zip this guy on. Oh, ew. We'll have to get a wrench on that or a smaller socket. It's kind of tight. So I think what it is the bolts are probably the same length, but the backside has more engagement. How are we gonna fix this and be super lazy at the same time? I guess. Can I get to it that way? Do I have a long socket, Danielle? Is there a long socket?
Not in front of me. There's one over there.
It's 3/4? No, that's not it. I was using them over here because I was taking the brakes all apart. But also lost. Oh, is it on the end of? Is there a ratchet?
This is 3/4.
Yeah. Made a long boy. That's also gonna be a hassle. Okay. Well, we'll just have to wrench it. I'll grab another wrench and tighten that up, but then that's tight, tight, tight. That's all good. These have lock nuts on them, so it ain't going nowhere. And then, as you can see, that's maximum crank because the steering arm is now interfering with the control arm stop, which it's supposed to do. So let's get that snugged up, and then we'll put the rotor together. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, just put a bunch of grease in here because you really can't have too much grease, right? I think that's a fact. Okay, so now I don't have the right hammer, but I have the closest one to me. Oh no, who's this?
Oh, it's Jack and Carol.
Oh, perfect. Back to work, back to work. we get along with all the neighbors. Did I say what I was doing here? We're putting this seal in. Good enough. So now, just clean this guy up. You know what I probably should do actually is brake clean this right quick. Do we have any brake clean, Danielle? Nothing. There's some over there. I was cleaning my hands with it last. What? Sometimes you gotta do the scan, Daniela. Okay. Where's the paper towel? So they ship all the stuff with a light coating of oil on it so it don't rust, or I guess when it's sitting around type thing. So I'll just give this a quick spray on the back side anyways, so we can get to it easy. So that's cool. Bada boom. What's it rubbing? Oh, we may have to give this a slight push. Well, that'll be good. What do you think? Should put more grease in there just cause? I'm with you. Let's make a mess.
There's a lot of different smells happening right now.
Sorry about that. I had a big lunch.
I meant the degreaser and then the paint.
Degreaser and paint. Okay.
Or the brake clean.
Slap that guy on there.
What was the point of wearing gloves if you're only going to wear one?
Well, it's good. I originally took the one glove off because I didn't want to get junk on my hammer. And yet here we are now. Now I'm going to use the old stuff here because I always feel the old nut is better than new junk, but that could just be...
You old nut.
Thank you for that. So now we'll give this a... Tighten it as you spin to seat the bearing. So that off. And kind of fingerish tight. You want to do there. We'll go on the loose side there. That through. Ouch. Put that in backwards because I'm blind. Yeah. Boom, that's I stalled. Okay, now we'll just go ahead and clean that up. Except we have to fix that somehow. Is there a pry bar anywhere? I got this one right here. What's it rubbing on? Do you see? This is just kind of...
Sounds like it's coming from the back.
Well, it definitely made it worse. There we go.
Ow, it was coming from the back.
I wish someone would have seen that and told me. You know what? Unfortunately, the dust caps are not in the kit, so I'll have to go buy a couple. Actually, I contacted Speedway and they're going to send me some, but in the meantime, we could put the old ones on, but we'll just wait. So that's all taken care of. So now I'll get the calipers and hardware and stuff, and we'll just put that on there. And it'll be like, that's how easy this kit is, I gotta say.
That is very easy.
Yes.
I feel like even I could do that.
Yeah. Imagine if you would have read the instructions first. Then you'd really have something. Okay, let's get all the other junk and we'll put her together. Okey-doke. So I'll just get this jammered. Which I don't know if I have any anti-squeak stuff. Mind you, it doesn't really matter. I'm not driving this thing. The next sucker will have that. So we have this little
End user
End user. So we have our caliper. This is your standard deal. Actually, it says what it is on it. So this isn't actually a 69 to 77 mid-size GM. So this is your like modern metric-y type stuff, which is fine. Now there is an L on it, but basically the line goes in there and the bleeder has to be on the top. Now in some kits, I will say, Tri-5 Chevys, I think the Speedway one might be different now, but it used to put the caliper on the front, which doesn't really matter. But then what you're actually doing is you're putting a left side caliper on the right because you want everything on the inside. So you have to just kind of be aware of that.
But that is not the case here.
That is not the case here. This thing, I mean, the fact that it came with disc brakes from factory, I assume this is probably all just factory stuff, factory bracket and everything. It just has, it probably just uses a generic caliper, which I'm thinking that these guys, because when you get a disc brake kit. Why is your
Well, your elbow is in the way of the camera, so I moved it.
Oh, I see. This is awkward. What was I gonna say there? When you buy a disc brake kit, I'm assuming it's not like they have a Camaro kit, a Nova kit, or whatever. It's probably just, here's a list of what everything is needed, and they pick it all off a bin, and they ship it out to you. It's kind of the vibe that I get. Will this fit now? What have I done? Perfect. We'll put a little anti-seize on this because...
I love the color of that.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice
So this
color.
stuff, these are actually metric, so you have to be aware of that, I will say. So actually, that's a good point. This is a metric slider pin, so the threads and all that are metric. Where did I put the other one? Still in the bag. Unfortunately, I said, I think there was a few things, well, not missing, they're lost in shipping or something like that. So we've talked to Speedway and they're actually resending it. They're always good about that. But the brake lines were missing. And what else was it? The dust caps. I feel like there was one more thing. But anyways, they'll be here at some point. But in the meantime, we can kind of carry on like this, and I'll go ahead and get the other side dialed. Just gotta watch that little rubber O-ring doesn't pop through, but that should be cool. There we have it. Disc brakes. Man, this looks good.
It looks really good.
So let's go ahead and clean this all up a little bit with some brake clean. I'll get the other side dialed together, and we'll just kind of show that, but then we can put it all back together. I want to be cheap here, but I'm thinking I might just bend that back with the torch. And then the end user can change the tie rod. I keep forgetting to order it, is the real issue. I want to do that, and then I think what I want to do today yet, I have a bunch of miscellaneous stuff I've been collecting. So this thing needs a drive shaft, and I don't want to go spend $400 or $500 on a drive shaft. So I think I'm going to try and shorten one myself, which I've never done, but all it involves is cutting and grinding and welding, all of which I'm mediocre at. So I think we might just try that. In my defense,
All of which you're capable of doing.
nothing has fallen off yet. So,
My mufflers fell off of my car,
what mufflers?
or my exhaust did.
What mufflers?
My exhaust on my 57 fell off, and I had to re-weld them.
I don't think that was my fault. It sounds like it was something you did wrong.
I don't think so.
There you have it, this brake kit. I think the kit, well, it was on the internet actually. I just saw it. It was super cheap. As I was looking through for the instructions, the kit was $300, and then I bought the spindles, which I actually think you might have been able to reuse these spindles because they look very similar. I didn't do any research, but on a Tri-5, you know what I bet the difference is? Because the bearings are all about the same. This one's looking in good shape. I bet this is the problem where the spindle is. So on a Tri-5 Chevy, you use the same spindle, but you have to re-drill this hole further in because everything is tighter. or whatever, less depth. So once you drill a hole through the spindle, which is unbelievably difficult because obviously that's hardened. So what I do is just stack washers and use the factory hole, which is kind of rinky dink. So, and the spindles are I think 150 bucks. So let's call it a $500 conversion here. But now you have bone stock, easy stuff. Like I said, this is what do I say? 69 to 78 or whatever it is. This is any Chevelle, Malibu, Cutlass, whatever it may be. Easy and cheap stuff to find. So you really can't go wrong. Anyway, let's get the other side all dialed together. And then this thing's got like, you know what I really wish? Is that there was more mechanicking on these old cars instead of the bodywork stuff. It's like I save this stuff for like the end because it's just like the fun stuff for me because it usually just works and it's really not the end of the world versus, oh, let's just cut this all apart and winch it down and chain it and pull it and nothing fits and all that sort of stuff. It seems like the aftermarket panels, they're like, man, guess it's a Nova. But like this, I mean, like we had to move this just a little, which honestly is probably a UPS issue. I'm not pointing fingers, but I don't think that was anyone else's fault. So I'll get the other side dialed together. We'll put the front end down and maybe we'll get to cutting that drive shaft. I watched like 2 YouTube videos, so pretty much expert at it now. Greasy.
I think we should have naked gunned it while you peed.
Yeah, that would have been something. Okay, both sides are donezo. So, I mean, this was a 0-issue kit. I mean, well, I guess it wasn't a kit. It was just a bunch of parts, but all together like mint. Really, all you gotta do is get yourself a alignment. After this, you should be fine. I did see, I mean, some comments people have said the lower control arms don't fit or this and that, and it's always the car itself has just been bent. So what you can do, I don't have, well, we can use this as an example. So if you take a piece of like all thread rod, so picture this is all thread, you would put 2 nuts in the center. Do I have 2 little things I can use? So pretend these would be nuts of the corresponding thread. So you do that. And well, you have to put it in there first, but then you loosen the nuts, and as you can see, it's going to push out. So if you had that in the ears of this, and you kept loosening these, it would open up the ears a little bit and make everything a little easier to fit. But we actually didn't have any of those issues, so mint. So we're going to put the wheels back on this thing. We'll drop it down. I found the transmission mount. It doesn't have a mount on it right now, but this old one. We'll just jam that in there. I don't know if I have any hardware, hopefully. See what this is. We can set that in there, and then I think I want to try shortening up a drive shaft. Never done it, but I think it should be fine. Worst case, it can't be worse than it is now. I think I got an old junk one in the 1-ton out back, and at the very least, the front end will be together. I got to get a different tie rod or heat this one up and bend it back, but one or the other. And then if we put a drive shaft in this thing, then it's like plumb the brakes, plumb the fuel, do some sort of hillbilly wiring, and this thing will be like a runner driver. How sweet would that be? Okay, let's put this thing together. Oh, and I got that, the interior, I don't know if I showed that. I painted all the interior I got for the thing. So I got a bunch of cheap kind of castaway stuff. So I just dyed it, and it sit outside. And then I ordered a carpet kit from Rack Auto. So that was a couple $100. Then I have a set of junk bucket seats. So this thing will be like, you know, junky, but drivable, which is all we're trying to accomplish. Okie doke. So, what?
Okie doke, we got a yoke.
So anyway, I had this yoke. This is just your standard deal. Now, these are, I think it's a Dorman. This is like a cheapy one. Look how skinny that is. But it'll work. So it's fine spline. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna put this in, give it like, I don't know, 3/4 or an inch of poke out. So the reason you want to do that, you want to have that set at like neutral balance in the suspension. So as the suspension falls, the yoke will come out, and as the suspension goes up, it will go in. Well, that's actually bottomed out like that, so we'll want to make sure we pull it out from bottom. So about like that. This is the drive shaft that was off of that car, I think. And it's got the course spline, old school, kind of, I think it's Power Glide and miscellaneous. So we'll take that out, and I'm hoping I can actually maybe take this apart and save, well, I'll put one new U-joint in maybe. But we'll put this together. Now, as you can see, this one here is, we kind of line that up, we're too long. Now, I guess it's tripod, I doubt it would have fit anyways, but this has got a long tail shaft transmission, which I think is truck. I think there was, there might even be one longer. I think there's, well, maybe I'm thinking Turbo 400, but there's this and there's like a mid-length one. If it was a mid-length one, maybe this drive shaft would just fit. So we have to chop whatever the measurement is gonna be out. So we'll grab our tape. And basically we're just gonna go center to center. So we'll kind of line that up-ish to there, and we want a drive shaft that's like 50 and a half center to center. So from here to here, we want 50 and a half, and this one is 53 and a quarter. So we'll have to cut out like 3 inches or so. I think what I'm gonna do, well, yeah, I'll have to think about it for a minute. And this thing here, I don't know what's going on. This looks like these were cut out with a zip cut, which is kind of lame. So we'll have to get these straps out. I got new U-joint straps, and these studs are now in there, so hopefully I can bash those out. But basically, I've seen guys do it, so this thing's got a bit of a schwammo in it maybe. I'm gonna cut on this weld. So it's welded both sides. If we cut on this weld, this little plug will come out. We can then shorten the drive shaft, and this thing does have a weight on it. So I wonder if I should maybe do the front side. I don't really know if it matters. I watched the internet, and some guys do it from the front, some guys do it from the back. Maybe we'll just do the front, because that way it was balanced at one point. We'll shorten it up here. Now in my mind, the balancing is more important further away from the yoke, maybe. Maybe it makes no difference. It is attached there for vibration. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll put some new U-joints in this thing. We'll shorten it up. We'll knock it in. The only real thing is you want to make sure you keep this thing in phase. So you can see here, if we're going to cut this out, we can then clock this any way we want. So we make sure it's flat. So I'll mark it, I guess, but really, as long as you put it on a concrete surface or a flat surface, we had a big workbench, and you can't kind of rock it like it's, you know, flat, I think you'll be fine. Also, it's not perfect, and if you don't like it, buy a new one for $500. So, Danny's gonna go feed the dogs. I'm gonna take this stuff out if I can. Yeah, it's definitely been zip cut for some reason. That's awesome. And then you can see a zip cut right in there. It's all kind of buggered there, which shouldn't really make a difference because the yoke is, or the U-joint's gonna set in there. But if we can get that all dialed together, we'll knock it in and we'll get it kind of close, and then we'll have to get a dial indicator and we'll see if we can center it so we don't have a whole lot of run out. And then weld the beans out of it. Right? Okay, let's get after it.
We're back in time for the action.
Yeah. Fortunately, I lost one of my little holders there, so hopefully it doesn't want to shoot out of there. Also, I wonder if that's, I should probably cut the end out first now that I think about it. So it's going to give it a cockeyed deal because it has this in the way. So I've done some measuring, but basically we're going to cut 3 inches out because this is I wrote it down somewhere on it. 53.5-ish. We go center to center. Yeah, so we're 53.5. We want it to be 50.5. So we take 3 inches out. So all I did was I marked like the edge of that piece to 3 inches. So then if that does it, the center, the mark is 48 3/4. And then this is inch and 3/4 or something like that. So if we put it on our tape, so we were, what did I say, 48 3/4. We had an inch is 49 3/4. Another quarter is 50. And then another half for 3/4 inch is 50.5. So that'll be perfecto. So I'm gonna go ahead and grind this weld all the way down. And then we'll be able to knock this piece out, I'm hoping. And then we'll just change the yoke. It's too bad this yoke wasn't good. I don't have a used one. And then I wish I would have kept the caps for this too. But we'll put a new Tri-5 Chevy should just be regular 1310 junk. So cut that out. See where we end up. Well, I skipped ahead. I was struggling getting this cut off. Didn't go well at all, so I had to cut it short and then grind it all out, and it was meh, and it kind of doesn't want to fit together the best, so I put a couple little tack welds on, but put new U-joints in, so it's in-ish, and I got the right amount of, out. So I wire wheeled, this is where it gets a little complicated. Not complicated, but wishy-washy. I actually think it's going to be fine no matter what, but I wire wheeled the tube. We have our little dial indicator, and we're trying to kind of accomplish, I mean, in my mind, 10th run out is probably fine, but the reality is the transmission has a certain amount of slop in it, so let's just keep that in mind. But as we spin it, so 20, and we go back. So now, if I get it to, so we got 20, so if I whack it a little bit, I need to be where you are. Give it a little, maybe I'll just give it a, see if that helped us at all. Okay, so now we're at 10. So you kind of, it moves when I'm twisting it, so I'm trying to kind of just let it do its thing. So we got like 5. We're out to 10 there. Oh, see, I'm doing that. Give it just maybe a little bit of a whack. Kind of feel like 15. I'm just going to play with this a little bit and see if I can. See, I had to give it a tack weld because it was not super happy in there, but now we're down to like 18 thou. So, I don't know how hard I can schwacks get before we're working against ourselves here, So I worked it back and forth, got it close-ish. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. Gave it like a 4-corner tack to kind of hold it in place, and then I just burned it in on the bench, and now she's all kind of went back together. I don't know, we'll see how this goes. Actually, the one end was kind of unhappy. Actually, it had a tack weld holding it together before, so I just gave it another tack weld, one of the U-joints, but at least it's right length. There's actually a big dent on this side too, which I noticed after the fact. Yeah, like there's a big dent right there. It's gonna show up, but it spins. But I mean, look at how much play there is in the transmission. If you had a lathe or something like that, you could probably really accomplish something. But that's that. Now, obviously, but now we have park, so we can't roll off the lift. Now, clearly, you guys have seen me in the past. I put drive shafts in everything. I put new ones in all the time. This one, I mean, A, we're trying to do it cheaper, but B, we have an unknown motor with an unknown transmission. So to justify spending $500 or whatever it's going to be on a drive shaft to fit perfect on a car that we're going to flip, which the next guy, let's be honest, we're just taking this thing to the next level. If someone goes, you know what, I want to put a real snarly, big block, whatever it is, or they want to put a 4-speed, or they got a different transmission, or they want to change the rear end, or whatever it is, this drive shaft is useless.
Which the likelihood of that is very high, because this is a Nova.
Well, I mean, if I bought this thing, I wouldn't have this. I mean, that's my opinion. Now, maybe you get the guy who has a Nova or 2 or 6 and wants just a cruiser, well then maybe he would leave it like this. We don't even know if this transmission is reversed, let's be honest. That's a big part of it. Now, we also do have another spare transmission that is the exact same. So if this one's junk, we could try swapping.
But we need that one.
Well, we'll just swap it. This one will then we'll weight that one down, right?
Oh.
So just bear in mind, we're doing this on the cheap. I realize this isn't probably the best way of doing it. This is, whatever, tractor pull or what's it called? Demolition derby style stuff. But it's together, it works. It will turn the rear wheels and it will be able to test this thing and it'll be able to drive on the trailer, which is all we're really trying to accomplish. If you want to go further with this thing, I would highly recommend it. I mean, the motor looks nice, but it's because it's got $18 worth of paint on it. But what we're really doing is just selling the body. But people are so funny in my years of selling cars now. People, like, they want it to run and drive a little bit, but I also realize you can spend $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 on a motor and it doesn't make the car worth $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 more, right? It's like putting a set of nice wheels or like lifting a 4x4 truck. That's great, you spend all that money on it. It doesn't mean it's worth more. It means you like it and I'm all for it, but the next guy might in fact hinder the sale, and that is reality. But at least this, the guy can get in, take it around the block, make sure that...
Move it from one side of the garage to the other.
Exactly. They can just do that. They can drive it on the trailer. They can make sure the brakes work. They can make sure it doesn't go down the road sideways. There's a few benefits to having the thing just, be able to ride around the block, or yard drive, as you want to call it. But there we have it. That's our leave for today. Brakes are done. Suspension's done. Well, done-ish. We got to do something with the steering. Now we have the rear end and all this all together. I might put the fuel tank in and start plumbing. Like I said, we're waiting on a few little things. Unfortunately, I got to pull the rear wheels actually because it's missing one drum. And in fact, it's missing every piece of brake hardware, which is a major bummer. So I guess we got to see what that's all about because it's not going to have any e-brake stuff or nothing. So we have to decide what we want to do there. This may just be a front brake deal because I don't think it's worth spending $400 or $500, let's say, if it needs drums. Drums would be $100 a piece. So 2 drums. Shoes are cheap, but $40, $50. Wheel cylinders. Then if I have to go try and find all the arms and all this stuff, and then plumbing, and you could be $300 into a Bowman stock 10-bolt diff. Which, are you going to get that money back out for the next guy? Or do we just plug the rear master? Because doing it with the front brakes should be fine. And the guy can drive around the block. So I think these are the things we're going to start, I don't want to say cutting corners on, but just being realistic with. Now, hey, if you want to buy this thing and you want rear brakes in it and you want to give me a deposit, I'll do it. But everyone's a lot of talk until the money has to come out. So let's leave it there. Let's drop it down and see how cool it looks. It actually has kind of a badass rake to it. We don't even need the blocks anymore, Danielle. It's just naturally going to do its thing. But looks cool. It's It's definitely nosed down a little bit, but tire size and all that kind of affects it, so yeah. Mechanical stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you leave a comment below. Danny said we didn't do an intro, so Dan here, DU Speed Shop. See you on the next one.